I'm so excited that the new season of Doctor Who just started. But I was thinking it would be really easy for him to defeat the Daleks. All he needs to do is
Microjig, maker of the gripper. Work safer, work smarter.
that guy's voice sound different. This week's video is also sponsored by Casper, this time with DreamCam. This week on Woodworking for Mere Mortals, I've got this cool raffle ticket tumbler, which I'll be using this Saturday night at the Mega Nemo meetup in Kansas City to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Look, you're a winner. First, I'm gonna cut out the two hexagon ends. I'm gonna tape together two boards so I can cut them at the same time. And I'll spray mount my cutting template. Drilling the hole in the center of each of these would have been a lot easier if I had done so before I peeled my template off, which had a nice little dot in the center. But I've marked the center again and I should be able to line these up using a stop block. I'm cutting out these thin strips with my blade set at a 30-degree bevel. To help me line up these two end pieces, I'm gonna run this dowel through the holes and glue it in place. I'll glue and tack these into place. I'm using tape to clamp the two bevels together. Oops, I forgot this side is where the door goes, so I had to remove that part. I don't really have to remove this center part of this dowel, but I think that the tickets will look a lot cooler if they're tumbling around without it. I cut a bunch of these little trim pieces that'll go in between. These three holes are going to hold the magnets that keep the lid shut. I'll epoxy these rare earth magnets into those holes. I'll glue this piece under here. I'm filling all the little holes and cracks with spackling. Now that that's all sanded smooth, I can work on the door. First I'll temporarily attach this hinge. On the other side of the lid, I sanded down this little notch, and I'm gonna use this old jigsaw blade as a latch plate. I'll put a little extra epoxy on this edge to cover up the teeth. Now I can start working on this stand. I'm going to assemble the two pieces for each stand using half-lap joints for strength. Sometimes I think it's a toss-up whether it's faster to set up my Dado set or just make a whole bunch of passes with my regular table saw blade. It seems like most of the time it's just not worth bothering changing to the Dado blades. I'm gonna screw these uprights into this plywood board. I've put down a piece of carpet tape to hold them in place while I drill some holes. I put this lid back on and it's really hard to open. I think 3 magnets is too much. So I can't cut this metal piece off since it's epoxied in, and I can't remove the magnet, so I think I'm just gonna cut away one of the end magnets, test it. If it's still too strong, I'll cut away the other end magnet and see if just the center one is strong enough. Let me give that a test. I'll use my table saw to cut the 5 transparent acrylic panels to size. I'm using an all-purpose adhesive to glue these plexiglass panels in place. I really like the way that all-purpose glue dries clear, so the plexiglass looks really good. Now I can just assemble this. You'll probably notice that I decided to eliminate the other magnet, so I'm just using the one magnet and that works perfect. I also painted the hinge blue, and I found this old drawer pull that I was able to paint blue. It looks a lot more fun than the other one I had. Now that the ticket tumbler is finished, let me take a moment to talk to you about the sponsor of this week's episode, Casper. But I want to do something a little bit different this time. I got a new piece of technology called a dream cam, and I set it up last night while I was sleeping, and we'll take a look at that footage together and see what I was dreaming about. All of you already know how obsessively engineered Casper mattresses are, how they combine latex foam and memory foam to make this magical, hybrid, comfortable foam. They've really managed to get the squish to bounce ratio perfect. And I gotta tell you, I work long days. Yesterday I worked a full 12-hour day, and by the time I went to bed, nothing felt better than that mattress. I was asleep like that, and I didn't wake up until this morning. Casper also has a risk-free trial and return policy. If you don't like your mattress after 100 days, you can just send it back. To be honest, after getting one of those mattresses out of the box, I'm not exactly sure how you would return it. Maybe everybody likes their mattress so much that nobody's ever had to return one. However they managed to do it, I'm sure it's simple and easy. And don't forget, you can get $50 off your first mattress by going to casper.com/woodworking. It's really a great offer, and it's a great mattress. Well, did you enjoy the dream cam? I'm sure it's just like your dreams, huh? Kind of disturbing. Thanks everybody, and thank you Casper for supporting Woodworking for Mere Mortals. Hope you guys enjoyed the raffle ticket tumbler. I'm sure this isn't a project that most of you are going to make unless you're gonna have a raffle. In which case this would come in real handy. I'm really excited to use this on Saturday night and raise a bunch of money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. If you're in the Kansas City area, I hope you'll stop by the Meow-Meow meetup. It starts at 6 o'clock. All the information is down in the description. There's just something very satisfying about spinning this. If you would like to make one of these, I've got free plans down below too. I also want to remind all of you about Maker's Care. You still have an entire month to submit an airplane to makerscare.org. Remember, for every plane submitted, I'm donating $5 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And if you need some inspiration, go over and check out the gallery and videos over at makerscare.org. Lots of people have already submitted their airplanes. Thanks everybody, I'll see you next week.